She smashed about a dozen times. It meant no more than a minute. Ah! Sister Lee cries out in panic. She's coming again. I hurriedly look through the peephole. I see the fake policeman slowly walking over from the corner of the elevator entrance, unhurried, as if not in a hurry at all, still carrying a large hammer for harming people. Quick, quick, find something to brace the door, Sister Lee says in panic. It's useless. The door opens outward. I force myself to calm down and continue speaking to Sister Lee. There are two of us. The person outside may not know we are hiding in my home. This is an opportunity. If we seize it and control him, we can escape this trap. Bang! The fake policeman starts swinging the hammer to smash the door lock. I quickly instruct Sister Lee. I'm turning off the lights now. You hide in the inner room. I'll lie in the kitchen by the door. When he breaks in later, he makes some noise in the room. When he goes to check the room, I'll hit him hard from behind. Together we can subdue him. Sister Lee is a bit worried. Will it work? This is our only chance. The real police still haven't come. There must be something we don't know that's blocking them. Now we can only save ourselves, okay? Sister Lee hides in the inner room. I pull the circuit breaker. The entire apartment plunges into complete darkness. Bang, bang, bang. Each impact seems to hit my heart. My adrenaline surges. My whole body trembles. I curl up in the hiding spot behind the sliding door, tightly gripping the kitchen knife I just took from the cutting board. I watch the door with the corner of my eye, to avoid drawing attention. I never close the kitchen door at all. At this moment the knocking stops. After a while, the sound of the door being pulled open is heard. I carefully lean against the wall and slowly stand up. Light from the hallway shines in through the door. The fake policeman's shadow stretches long across the living room. At this moment, a phone ringtone suddenly comes from the inner room. The fake policeman immediately rushes in, flashing past me. Idiot! Li Ping hurriedly walks out of the inner room and shouts at the fake policeman. He's in the kitchen. Quick, grab him. The fake policeman turns to look, but discovers I have already disappeared. The plan was set from the beginning. Originally, when Li Ping hadn't appeared, I was prepared to use a phone countdown alarm to attract the fake policeman's attention and escape. Li Ping's unexpected appearance added a bit of ripple to the entire plan. I originally did want to use the combined strength of two people to subdue the criminal, and the plan was indeed feasible. But when knocking on the door, Li Ping's answers had big problems. Li Ping said she was hiding in the stairwell between the 6th and 7th floors. Then how could she clearly hear the thug knocking on my door? Hiding there was too risky. After all, if the murderer took the stairs, she would definitely be caught. Moreover, after seeing the criminal smash the door and go to her house, her first reaction was actually to come find me, and even knock and make noise. Wouldn't it be safer to just find a secret place to hide? But I had no choice but to let her in, because even if I used the phone ringtone to attract the fake policeman's attention, as long as one of the two of them was blocking the doorway, I still wouldn't have a chance to escape. Actually, looking at it from another angle, why did Li Ping come to my door to knock? In reality, it was to buy time for the fake policeman to go get the lockpicking tools. She was actually here to control me and prevent me from leaving the room. I could only pretend to believe her first and let her in. Letting her hide in the inner room was also my test. Actually, if it were a normal resident, if she had to hide in the inner room and also actively make some noise, what if I, being by the door, took the opportunity to run away? But the criminal's accomplice has no such concern, because she won't make noise and won't get hurt, while I would definitely be caught like a turtle in a jar. In that critical instant just now, I quietly slipped out of the apartment. I flash around the corner to the elevator entrance. One elevator is on the 1st floor, the other is on the 8th floor, exactly the one the criminal came up in. I enter the elevator and press 6. In the instant the elevator doors close, I seem to see two figures rushing out of the apartment in a rage. When I reach the 6th floor, I press 1 again for the ground floor, then slip out of the elevator. Since the other side is a gang operating together, the main entrance must already be locked. All I can do now is wait for the police to arrive. I glance at the door of 601. It is slightly ajar, just as I guessed. Although Li Ping is fake, they still put on a show for the act. There's a murderer hiding in the residential complex. Every time he kills someone, a song plays in the apartment corridor. The style is sometimes melancholic, sometimes passionate. The property management group chat notifies everyone to lock their doors tightly. After a while, the group announces that the murderer has already been caught. At that moment, someone knocks on my door. Through the peephole, I see it's a policeman. Comrade, please open the door for a routine check. Just as I am about to unlock the security door, I suddenly notice something wrong. Shouldn't the police always come in pairs when responding to a call? And what's with the 4 stickers on the officer's right chest? They look exactly like the smiling service stamps, but the smile is inexplicably eerie. A bold and terrifying guess makes my back break out in a cold sweat. I look at my phone again. The people in the group who said the murderer had been caught are exactly 4. No more, no less. First, the original whistleblower Jean Bo posts a message. Everyone, rest assured, the police have already arrested the criminal. Now the police are asking us to notify the residents that they suspect the criminal may be hiding stolen goods in private homes. Please cooperate with the investigation. Then 3 people quickly reply. 601 Liu Shan, great. The police are really fast. Now we can finally sleep well. 500 to Wang Dalu, upstairs. Didn't you see we still need to cooperate with the police investigation? If you fall asleep, you might get your door broken down. 301 Wuxian. Indeed, it's raining and they're still out on duty. The police comrades are really working hard. This is a bit too coincidental though. After these 3 messages, some residents start questioning. 1000 to Zhangfu, HMM. Strange. Is it already over? I still see the police line outside. 601 Liting. Maybe they need to finish the screening before canceling it. But no one replies to these messages. I hold my breath and silently observe through the peephole. The policeman outside seems to sense something is wrong and starts frantically pounding on the door. Open the door, comrade. Please open and cooperate with the investigation. Comrade, please cooperate, or I will break the door down. While speaking, He talks into his walkie-talkie. Situation at room 802. Resident refuses to cooperate. Request immediate support. At this moment, the WeChat group also becomes chaotic. 500 to Wang Dalu. What's going on? The police at my place were halfway through the check, then received a walkie-talkie call and hurriedly left, saying there's a situation at 802, 601 Yushan. At 800 to Zhongchuan. The police are just doing a routine check. They're all very polite. Friend, don't be too nervous. Otherwise, when they break the door later, you'll have to go to the police station for investigation. Admin Zhangbo. At 800 to Zhongchuan. If you're home, please open the door as soon as possible. Just now the police already asked me for your landlord's phone number. If you don't open, he will bring the key over. Don't waste the police's and everyone's rest time. I stay silent. These few people are exactly those for suspicious users. It's very likely they were already killed by the murderer long ago, and their phones were taken to fish in the group. Even if I take a step back and assume the people outside are real police, being taken to the station is still better than being killed by a murderer. Thinking this, I immediately take out my phone and dial 110 to call the police. But after pressing the number, the phone shows no signal. I look at it, wanting to use WeChat to ask friends for help, and suddenly discover that everything I sent to anyone has a red exclamation mark. But why can the public group messages still communicate normally? This is too strange. At this moment, another message pops up in the group. 601 Li Ting. Something's not right. Just now I thought it was over and was about to go out for a walk, but I found a pair of red shoe footprints in the elevator. Little brother from 802. Don't open the door. The people outside are not the police. The message is withdrawn by the admin. The admin enables full group mute. Property management Zhangbo. Dear resident friends, the stolen goods the murderer is hiding this time are of extraordinary importance. To prevent anyone from confusing the public, I am now enabling full group mute. I will post any new notices in the group. Sister Lee took a great risk to warn me. I hope she stays safe. Now the only platform for communication has been cut off. The door being opened is only a matter of time. Am I just going to wait in this room to die? I feel like everything today is a premeditated plan. A month ago, when I took a liking to this apartment, the previous tenant sublet it to me and even gave me 1 month of free rent. I thought I got a bargain. But was he really kind-hearted? When signing the contract, the previous tenant also borrowed my phone under the excuse that his was out of battery, to call his wife. Looking back now, he very likely tampered with my phone at that time and implanted a malicious Trojan that could be remotely controlled. The more carefully I think about it, the angrier and more fearful I become, because the previous tenant is very likely colluding with the murderer. The key is, what is their purpose in going to such great lengths? And there are so many unreasonable behaviors. Just as I am thinking, the policeman outside suddenly goes berserk. The regular knocking turns into kicking and slamming, as if he wants to break in by force. At this moment, I suddenly remember something. Taking 3 steps as 2, I pull a box out from under the bed. The items in this box were left by the previous tenant when he sublet the place. I found them when cleaning the room. I originally wanted to mail them to him, but he said he was temporarily out of the country and asked me to keep them for a while. I opened the box. Inside is a very small black feature phone, but it has no charger. I insert my SIM card into this phone. When I turn it on, the battery only shows 1 bar. With a nervous heart, I dial the emergency number. It connects. Hello. I am the tenant of Angson Court Room 802. I want to ask, is there an operation to catch a murderer in our complex today? Hello, are you currently inside Angson Court? The other side becomes tense. The signal in the complex has been completely jammed and cut off. How did you contact us? The phone shows it will shut down in 30 seconds. No time to explain. Please tell me, has the murderer already been caught? Are the people outside my door your police doing a routine check? The other side's speech suddenly speeds up. Sir, please do not open the door under any circumstances. The capture operation in the complex has not been completed yet. This time the target is not a single murderer, but a gang that has committed multiple consecutive murder cases. What? My eyes widen instantly, but I don't dare stop. The more information I get, the higher the chance of survival. Is the property manager of our complex, Zhangbo, still alive? He is under major suspicion. The other side pauses for a second. As time runs out quickly, a puzzled voice finally comes through. The property manager of your complex is at the outer perimeter of the scene, but his name is not Zhang. It's Dumei, a middle-aged woman. The phone battery is too low to maintain the call and hangs up. Before the phone shuts down, I see a message pop up on the screen. Don't let them find the escape route out of the building. At this moment, the pounding outside stops. I carefully continue observing through the peephole. That fake policeman takes out his walkie-talkie, says a few words, and turns to leave. I watch him leave, feeling a bad premonition. After a while, I seem to hear a loud crash. Not even a few minutes later, someone is frantically ringing the doorbell again. Young man, open the door quickly. This time outside the door is a middle-aged woman in home clothes. I'm Li Ping from 601. Just now the policeman went to my house. She took tools and directly smashed my door lock. I barely escaped. I ask in shock and suspicion. How? How did you escape? Just now the group was muted, so I didn't go home. I've been hiding at the stairwell on the upper floor. When I saw him go in, I ran over to your place. Young man, in the group I can only trust you and the person on the 10th floor. Open the door quickly. When he finds I'm not there, he will definitely come to your place next. I was just about to reach out and open the door, but my hand suddenly freezes. Could this also be the murderer's trick? But her previous statements in the group were all on my side. If she really is a planted mole waiting in the group in advance, that would be too terrifying. At this moment, Sister Lee's knocking becomes noticeably quieter. It seems she is also afraid of alerting the fake policeman and making him come down early. I carefully observe Sister Lee. Her home clothes are very loose, and both hands are empty. She doesn't appear to be carrying any weapons, so I grit my teeth and let her in. After Sister Lee enters, she instantly breathes a sigh of relief. Young man, thank you. I say you're welcome. The danger hasn't been resolved yet. The fake policeman will still come down later. Young man, Can you contact the outside from your side? From just now, my phone has had no signal, and the Wi-Fi can't access anything either. Sister Lee, it's the same on my side. I conceal the matter of the black phone, and do not reveal the fact that the other side is a criminal gang rather than a single person. Sister Lee sighs. What kind of people are they? So powerful and so ruthless. I don't know either. I only moved in a month ago. By the way, Sister Lee, just now when she took Jules to smash the door, how long did it take? I don't remember clearly. The door of 601 had really been smashed open. I quietly slipped inside, not knowing where the murderer's other accomplices were. The darkness under the lamp was actually the safest place. But the moment I entered, I was startled. A horrific corpse was casually lying in the living room. The abdomen had been completely hollowed out. The head was a bloody mess of flesh, and next to the body a sad face emoji had been drawn in blood. Just one glance made my stomach churn with nausea. At that moment, with a creak, several people's voices came through. What's going on? How did the person escape? There was actually a walkie-talkie on the table. I had been so shocked by the corpse that I hadn't even noticed it. There's a little loach playing hide-and-seek behind us. We're looking for him now. The elevator first stopped on the 6th floor. Shouldn't we just go straight to the 6th floor, idiot? Once he enters the elevator, does he have to stay in the elevator? Can't he take the stairs? And after getting off on the 6th floor, floors 1 through 5 all stopped. Do you know which floor he got off on? How long do we have to keep looking? After the scolding, the leader issued orders in an unquestionable tone. I'll arrange for Hongsha to take the elevator down to the 1st floor. Old Gao, you take the other elevator straight to the top floor. Once you reach the top, send the elevator back down to the 1st floor first. Control the elevators. Then, Old Gao, start from the 11th floor rooftop and search floor by floor downward. When you reach the 6th floor, recover the walkie-talkie. Understood. Received. Don't rush. The rest of the people are already handling the goods. Once they receive them, I want this little loach to neither live nor die. Hearing the conversation on the walkie-talkie, I felt the situation was extremely troublesome. Hongsha was the fake gift Li Ping, because she didn't look aggressive. I had originally planned to use her to open up a breakthrough. This leader had arranged everything thoroughly with no loopholes. Being found seemed only a matter of time. Time passed second by second as I thought about how to break the deadlock. The police could arrive at any moment. With normal thinking, shouldn't they cut their losses in time and find another chance to take revenge on me later? Why hadn't they fled? I had no time to think carefully. I forced myself to take a deep breath, suppress my emotions, and pull my mind back to how to save myself. I knelt on the floor, fighting the nausea, and began examining the corpse. I kept scanning it. It seemed to respond to me, and an idea slowly emerged. If the living person had no companions, why couldn't I use a dead person as a companion? From the 11th floor to the 6th floor. Even a slow search would only take 15 to 20 minutes. Time was tight. I immediately started arranging things. The blood on the corpse had almost completely drained. Fortunately, it was a woman who usually paid attention to body management, so I could still lift her. But because the abdomen had been hollowed out, she kept slipping when I tried to sit her on a chair. I had to tear off a bedsheet, drape it over her, and tie her body to the chair with the sheet. After that, she somehow looked a little more alive. Then I repeated my old trick, turned off all the lights in the room and pulled the circuit breaker. This time I didn't stay in the room. I changed into a different pair of shoes from the shoe rack, picked up the kitchen knife, slipped out through the doorway, and closed the broken door behind me. I went to the stairwell between the 5th and 6th floors and curled up in a corner, waiting quietly. Familiar footsteps came down from above. My heartbeat instead grew fiercer. This old guy had perhaps walked for too long. I could even hear his panic. Seeing him leave the stairwell and head straight towards 601, I quietly followed. He was very cautious, holding a handgun, carefully checking as he slowly pulled the door open. I hid around the corner, tightly gripping the knife handle. What the fuck is this thing? With a puff sound like a newly installed silencer, Old Gao entered the room, bumped into the corpse, and in panic tried to fire. I seized the chance, lunged forward in one leap, knocked him down, and quickly chopped the knife onto the hand holding the gun. He cried out in pain and dropped the gun. In the narrow doorway there were 2 living people and 1 corpse. I was on top. I chopped knife after knife into his back. He tried hard to struggle, but the corpse and bedsheet underneath him always prevented him from using full strength. Gradually his struggling force grew weaker and weaker until his whole body collapsed, face pressed against the thigh of the corpse Li Ping. Seeing this, I stabbed several times into his neck, then quickly pulled him off the corpse of Li Ping. At that moment, the walkie-talkie under the thug transmitted his companions' voices. During the fight the talk button had somehow been pressed, and all the sounds from the neck were transmitted to them. I silently picked up the walkie-talkie. I had originally planned to resolve this quietly to buy myself more time to maneuver. Now that plan was completely ruined. After several inquiries from the other side with no response, they also fell silent. Then the leader's voice came through. Are you Zheng Chuan from 802? Did you kill our companion? I didn't answer. We have already blocked all the exits of this building. You can't escape. Are you thinking that you've already used the black phone in the room to call the police, and now you just need to wait for the police to arrive? But is it possible that the black phone is also part of the game? It was already tampered with by us long ago. Your emergency call was also intercepted by us. Our people pretended to be the robotic voice. Was it realistic enough? Completely fooled you. While speaking, the leader laughed calmly. However, we don't want any more unexpected things to happen. How about this? Let's make a deal. You are not indispensable to us. We still have more important tasks. We will let you go, as long as you do not reveal our whereabouts before 12 o'clock. Then we will each mind our own business. I was silent for a long time, then finally picked up the walkie-talkie. How will you let me go? You can take the weapon and go downstairs. We will all take the elevators to the 7th floor and above right now. As long as you don't want to run into us, we won't meet. Why should I believe you? You can choose not to believe us. We don't really care. If you want to come seek death, we also welcome you. the leader said sinisterly. I noticed that in the conversation just now the leader mentioned game and task. If the criminals had a task, then was there a possibility that I also had a task tonight? I remembered the text message on the black phone. Don't let them find the escape route. Out of the building. Could this be my task? I also recalled the unreasonable behaviors of this group of thugs. For example, deliberately playing songs when killing to expose themselves, or pathologically drawing a symbol when killing the victims, as if they were participating in a show. Were these behaviors just for the sadistic effect? Using different blood-drawn symbols and playing different styles of music, all to match the victim's expressions at the time and render the atmosphere in a flash of insight. I further deduced the leader's subsequent effects. If I were the leader, since I had already cut off outside contact and controlled all the entrances and exits of the entire building, was there any need to waste words negotiating? The people trapped in the building were already in a certain death situation. Could it be? Now I understood what he was up to. I picked up the walkie-talkie. I agreed to the deal, but you need to wait for me 5 minutes. I need to replenish some water and energy. No problem. Countdown 5 minutes. I turned off the walkie-talkie, lunged to the elevator entrance in one leap, pressed both the up and down buttons, then rushed up to the 7th floor and repeated the same action on the 8th, 9th, and 11th floors. At this time, the atmosphere in the first floor lobby was a bit heavy. Hongsha asked the leader, "Are we really going to wait 5 minutes?" "Of course not. You split into 2 elevators, 2 people per group. One group goes to the 6th floor, one group goes to the 11th floor. The rest follow me up the stairs," the leader said fiercely. "It doesn't matter if you don't run into him. He hasn't completed the livestream task. Even if he escapes this building, it's still a dead end. Ignore him. Follow the backup plan and kill the 4 residents of 901 and 902. Meanwhile, as I ran frantically downward, my heart was about to jump out. After a whole night of exhausting thought and even killing a person, I felt my hands and feet had become ice cold. The glass in the building's top was locked. I shot and shattered the glass. Outside, the pouring rain and thunder and lightning continued. I was stunned. On the originally empty rooftop, a huge container-like building had suddenly appeared. Although I had some psychological preparation, actually seeing it still left me in disbelief. I steadied my emotions and walked down to the container entrance. I pounded hard on the door and shouted, "Quick, open the door." Something's happened. The people inside were clearly unprepared and quickly opened the door, still saying, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I pulled out the gun. The moment the door opened, I saw his white lab coat. So without hesitation, I held him the door with one shot. Inside there was another doctor who was resting. He was about to say something, but was also shot dead by me as I rushed in, looking around. Medical freezers were neatly stacked one after another. I casually opened one. As expected, inside were all human organs. When reviewing the entire night's experiences earlier, I had discovered 3 unnatural points. The first was when I escaped from room 802, the leader and Jia Liping's orders. He told Jia Liping to go to the 1st floor and persuaded old Gao to take the elevator to the 11th floor. Why? Even if they wanted to search upward, they only needed to pull the elevator to the 1st floor and have the fake policeman search upward via the stairs. Having both of them go down to the 1st floor and then block floor by floor upward would have been better for catching me. This showed that at that time they were already carefully protecting the secret on the 11th floor. The second was the corpse of Liping in 601. The abdomen had been hollowed out, yet I found no internal organs or remains nearby. Also, the amount of blood was a bit too little. The thugs only left a blood symbol for their twisted amusement. The walls and other places could even be called clean. This handling method looked like a cult, but in reality it was only to cover up the true destination of the organs. The third was the content of the deal the leader made with me, them going to the 7th floor and above to help me walk out of the building via the stairs confirmed 2 things. First, I was something they were looking for, but not a necessary thing, because they hadn't obtained my internal organs. They only needed to switch to another target. It would just waste a little time. Second, they did not want me to go upward. Overall, above the 7th floor there was something they needed or something they were protecting. For example, people whose organs they hadn't yet harvested. Additionally, they needed to protect something or someone on the 11th floor. I looked at the more than 20 medical boxes in front of me. I didn't know how many people they had killed. It looked far more than 4. I hesitated for a moment, then began destroying the boxes one by one. Your organs. The dead are already gone. What I can do is prevent their organs from being used for evil again. I sped up my actions, not noticing that several figures had appeared outside the container door at some point. Quick, stop him. The leader's furious voice came. Several people quickly raised their guns and charged at me. Immediately, the old acquaintance fired a shot that hit my abdomen. Instant pain made me fall to the ground. I killed up and watched as the remaining 2 shots rang out. But fate intervened. Their handguns' last bullets were used up just like that. The criminals rushed up and beat and kicked me. The leader looked at me with an ugly expression. "Kid, you didn't keep the deal. Just like you prepared not to keep the deal. HMPH. I sneered in rebuttal. "Boss, what do we do?" This kid destroyed the control console. The mobile signal in the complex can no longer be isolated. Some users must have already called the police. Kill him. Next we have to keep running until the next live stream opens. Liping raised her gun toward me. No one noticed that outside, the thunder, lightning, and pouring rain had already stopped. At this moment several red dots suddenly locked onto several people's foreheads. Liping was still savoring the feeling of my dying moment, when suddenly several gunshots rang out. Several thugs all died nearby, residual horror still on their faces, as if they didn't understand why the police had arrived so quickly. Because of severe blood loss from the abdomen, my eyelids grew heavier and heavier. and I gradually fell into a coma. When I woke up again, I was already on a hospital bed in the city center hospital. The nurse told me the bullet had pierced through the body without hitting any vital organs. The injury wasn't too serious. After resting for a period, I would fully recover. When my energy recovered a bit, a police officer surnamed Jean came over to understand the situation with me. We received a report from the neighboring complex that the bulletin board next to the security office had been damaged by gunfire. That was you, right? To attract attention? I nodded, a bit embarrassed. My marksmanship is bad, and I was afraid of accidentally hurting people, so I fired a few extra shots. Fortunately, it attracted the attention of the security on duty. Officer Jean nodded. After receiving the report, we attached great importance to it. We also discovered that the entire signal of your complex had been jammed, so we suspected we might encounter a difficult criminal gang. To ensure safety, before the elite team entered your complex, we had also deliberately ranged several snipers on the top floor of the neighboring building. We didn't expect to directly see you confronting several thugs on the rooftop. It was lucky we arrived in time. Otherwise, I would already be a corpse by now. I thanked Officer Jean, then hurriedly synchronized with him the organ trading and dark livestream content I had learned. Officer Jean followed the clues and quickly destroyed a major organ smuggling gang. The original tenant who had sublet the apartment to me was also arrested in this operation. Later, the newspapers published more details about the major murder case at Angson Court. The total number of victims was 15 people. 7 were tenants from outside. 8 were original residents of the complex, ages between 20 and 50. The reports didn't have many details, only saying that all the perpetrators had been shot dead. But no matter how the police and journalists pursued it, that mysterious livestream organization could never be found. No traces of it remained. 2 months later, I moved to a new place and began a new life. This Friday after work, I poured myself a glass of red wine and was daydreaming about the weekend day when I discovered a note on the table. The livestream is about to begin. Please get ready. Countdown, 1 hour.